what it was. Y'all know who it is. And y'all tuned in with Priceless Knowledge of Self. And this right here, this ain't nothing but some cosmic insight. And say, man, I had a whole little monologue set up for this intro today. I was going to laugh and play and do all kinds of little silly shit. But then I sat back and really assessed the energy that comes along with this placement that we're going to do today. And I was like, man, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Because sometimes you just got to be straight up, man. Sometimes you just got to give it to them raw. And to be honest with y'all, full disclosure, raw, that's actually my preferred method of implementation. So here we are, and we're going to talk about it. That's because this right here, this is something about those people that have Mars in the third house of their natal chart. And before we even go there, if you don't know my style, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to tell you a little bit about Mars. I'm going to give you a quick breakdown of the energy that comes along with it and how it might affect you. Then we'll talk a little bit about what the third house of the astrological chart is all about. Then after that, we're going to bring it to a culmination, which fortunately for you, that's what I do best. So without wasting any more of anyone else's time, let's get it cracking. So Mars, this is the fourth planet from the sun, and it rules the sign of Aries and the first house of the astrological chart. And if you ask any traditional astrologer, and if you ask myself, I say to a lesser degree, it also rules the eighth house in the sign of Scorpio. And either way you look at it, Mars most definitely comes into our chart and calls us to action. That's because it rules over energy, passion, drive, as well as our inherent sense of determination. And Mars really commands us to stand up, be noticed, and get some shit done, because sitting on the sidelines, that belongs somewhere else in the zodiac. That wallflower shit, nah, that ain't gonna fly here. Mars also rules over the military, but more simply put, it speaks to the power and confident expression of each one of us individually. Ambition, competition, these both fall under Mars umbrella too. And it can represent our stamina. And whether it be at work or at play, Mars wants us to be at our best when facing challenges. That's because Mars is confrontational. Matter of fact, this is the most confrontational energy there is, period. And in our birth chart, Mars can represent our sense of aggression. It also can represent our sense of addressing aggression when aggression is brought in our direction. Okay? Try wrapping your tongue around that. And hey, man, in men, it can also be a big indicator of sex drive. But I think whether we're talking about men or women or masculine or feminine energy, Mars, hey, it represents our style of action. It shows how we like to move. It shows how we get down. It can also represent how we like to be handled in some cases too. So that's that's definitely worth looking at. Y'all pardon my tongue twisting right there. I got a little twisted. And so understand that wherever Mars shows up in the chart, it really speaks to how we assert ourselves physically and how we channel our aggression and our sexual energy on this plane of existence right here. And so when we talk about the third house is ruled by Gemini and Mercury, and it highly symbolizes our thinking and our communication style. It also can represent our writing, our short trips, our siblings, especially our younger siblings, and pretty much our early childhood environment too. Grade school, our friends, our neighborhood. All that comes under the third house, man. And it also shows whatever powers of analysis and discrimination that we might possess. And any planets placed in this house indicate how we communicate and how we operate mentally. Okay? So just think about that. Now, when we take in Mars and putting Mars in the third house, hey, you want to talk about somebody that, tells it like it is. Then look no further than these motherfuckers right here. Because what you got to understand is that Mars brings a lot of fiery energy to the matters of whatever house that it's in right here. And in this case, man, what you get more often than not are individuals who express themselves in an extremely direct and assertive way, man. Straight up. Pun intended too. This is not a placement of diplomats. I'm gonna keep it real. And unless there's a significant amount of Venetian energy in the mix, either by sign or aspect, man, it can easily be said that these motherfuckers here completely lack tact. I mean, completely. And regardless of whether or not it's intended to come across that way, other people often perceive them as rather aggressive or extremely blunt in speech. And that's also because they're so damn defensive of everything that they say and of their ideas and belief, which that right there ain't helped by the fact that most third house Mars people cuss like a motherfucking sailor, and they talk real fast and real loud too. So it's a motherfucker to put up with, man. And a lot of times they don't mean any harm. They're just getting taken the wrong way because they come across strong. You want to talk about somebody that comes across strong? This is Mars in the third house. You don't want me to say it, does it, y'all? Anyway, man, this is typically a really aggressive communication style right here, man, which unfortunately can make it a lot harder for these motherfuckers to meet new people and develop meaningful relationships. But the thing is, man, they're just really passionate speakers. That's all it is, man. And they really get worked up over their ideas, but that often gets taken the wrong way, which, that causes conflict for them in their life. Plus, they be kind of feeling attacked when somebody has a different opinion than them. So they tend to jump defensive real quick and get mad kind of fast, man. Or they come across really strong and aggressive at first because they don't want anybody to try to debunk or come at them, man. And hey, that's a motherfucker to deal with, man. They got to learn to slow down a little bit. They just need to learn to respect everybody else's opinion and realize that the only true way to reach an agreement is through patience and through understanding. And that's probably going to be a lifelong battle for them. I mean, that's just what it is, man. And besides all that, I can also say that Mars in the third house, it speaks of an extremely active mind that puts an inordinate amount of energy into learning because, acquiring new knowledge right here is something that deeply, makes them passionate. Okay. This is another placement of those sapiosexuals. Okay. This is somebody else that if you want to unlock any part of their body, you got to first dig into their mind. And a lot of times it ain't easy because they defensive. So, hey, man, it is what it is, man. This also, though, is somebody who thoroughly enjoys a mental challenge too, man. So even if they're not necessarily a very extroverted person, because you don't know either way with this one, man, they definitely, probably interact with a lot of different people, man. And they probably, have fun conversating with people. Now, whether those interactions, are conflicted or constructive, who knows? That's really up to them, man. That's entirely up to them and the way that they channel all that fiery Mars energy that they got going on, man. And they have a lot of it. They have a lot of it. Because if they can somehow, I'm telling you now, if they can somehow develop, their tactful side, I'm telling you right these people right here could actually become masters in the art of persuasion because they speak with such passion and energy that people really believe the shit they say right here. That's a big if. That is a big if for them. Okay. Because this also takes sometimes putting some humility in the mix and learning to be quiet and, accept that your opinion ain't always right. And that ain't always the easiest thing for them to do. And let's also not forget that the third house also rules our early childhood or our grade school years and our relationships with our neighbors and our siblings. So, hey, and that's if we have any siblings too. And so in this case with Mars, it can mean a few different things for sure. Okay. For instance, man, this could mean that these people right here were an only child, for instance, growing up. Or, if they had any siblings, they probably, were probably predominantly Aries or Scorpios or had those strong placements somewhere in their chart. Or they were male or really aggressive or something like that, man. There's all kinds of ways to look at that, man. What else was it, man? Cause when you think about that, Mars is the most masculine planet that there is in astrology, but it could also mean that there are just a lot of conflicts or squabbling with them and their siblings or their neighborhood people or that, that might just stem from the fact that these third house Mars people, they're so damn argumentative. They're so damn argumentative and defensive and confrontational, and they respond to criticism with aggression. Even if it's meant to be constructive criticism, sometimes a lot of them take shit the wrong way and it ends up with a lot of bullshit. And a lot of them here end up with some scars from their childhood, probably from some self-inflicted shit that they put themselves through. Okay. So think about it like that, man. And hopefully, it sucks that I'm doing this in the third house. Hopefully I'll be able to communicate effectively on the next video. I feel like I'm doing all right, but it's a struggle right now, man. Is Mercury going retrograde today? Mercury's in Leo. I got a Mercury return going on right now. So that's what it is. I need to slow down. Anyway, with Mars in the third, man, lastly, the thing to remember with this one is that the aspects are going to be absolutely essential because they can either make the situation much better or significantly worse with this ring. Because, hey, a well aspect of Mars, it can protect you, whereas an afflicted Mars is urging you to express extreme caution. And with this being the third house, I'm telling you now, you have to be careful when you're driving with this one. That's my biggest word of advice for y'all in this one. With Mars in the third house, be careful when you are driving, because Mars here, it's not in your power right here, man. It's not in your favor either. It really ain't. And you could end up fucking yourself up real bad because you don't want to slow your ass down or because you weren't paying attention when you were driving. And it happens right around the house. And what do they say? Most accidents happen right around the house, man. When you were almost there, I was almost getting to where I was going. And then boom. I know that's always how it's happened to me. And, I don't have Mars in the third house. I got Uranus in the third house, and I done fucked off some cars. I'm telling you now, I done fucked off some cars. But hey, even if it don't play out like that, just because you built like that, you don't have to build like that. And what I mean is, we all have all this energy available to us. What you do with it is what you do with it. And even beyond that, it's not about what you do. It's about how you do it. And that's some priceless knowledge in itself. And there's been some priceless knowledge of self. Hey, this should be the time that you hit that like button because I'm pretty sure I went in. I messed up on some words because I was just talking all over my show, but this is Mars in the third house, man. The fuck do you expect? Hit the like button, man. Share these videos. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Hit the bell icon so you can be notified when I drop some new shit, man. If y'all are interested in the astrological readings whatsoever, you can either hit me up in the comments below or you can email me at mr.turner1300@gmail.com. That's for real, man. And hey, until next time, y'all keep it real. If you got Mars in the third house, shut the fuck up sometimes. Just shut the fuck up and stop trying to argue because I don't want to argue. I got Mars in the fourth house, so it's instinctively in me to just slap the shit out of somebody. So let's not do that, Mars in the third house. I love you.